your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the upcoming retrograde motion of planet Mercury, which is going to take place on May 10th. So now friends, as you know this thing that Mercury, which is currently transiting in the Taurus sign. So on May 10th, it is going to go retrograde and it is going to stay retrograde till June 2nd. So now friends, when we talk about the importance of Mercury in our lives, so definitely Mercury, which is the chief planet of communication, of multitasking, of travels, of commerce and trade. And these days Mercury and Rahu actually becomes very important because majority of the business transactions take place through online, through digital media and marketing only. So now friends, when we talk about looking at this transit from Mercury's perspective, so friends, it's not as vulnerable because when we talk about Mercury being in a very volatile state, which could take place if Mercury is placed in the Cancer sign, in the Pisces sign or in the Scorpio sign, and then it's going to go retrograde, that could have been worse. Over here, just because when we talk about the Taurusian energy, Taurus is a sign which is being ruled by Mercury's very good friend Venus, and the Taurus energy is all about conviction, commitment, fixity. Whatsoever communication takes place on the grounds of Taurus, there is always a degree and sense of commitment, fixity and vision being attached over there. So friends, the only way it is going to affect all of us is that it can actually delay all the aspect of communication or delays in travels. You might have to work hard to explain your state, to explain yourself. You might have to put more efforts, and this becomes more important if your life revolves around the Mercurian fields. If you are a language expert, you are a lifestyle coach, anything to do with content creation, being a blogger, you're working in the fields of banking, accountancy, you are a stand-up comedian, then in those kind of situations you have to remain a bit cautious. Because trust me friends, I've been observing transits for such a long span of time, and I see like all those people who are renowned in their field, specifically because of their writing talents, the moment Mercury go retrograde, they start getting into Twitter fights, they start getting into all those fights with other people. So that is the only reason the knowledge of astrology helps us to prepare ourselves beforehand. So now friends, now straight away we are going to jump to the customized results. So starting first with the Aries ascendant natives. So definitely friends, Mercury is actually transiting right now in your second house. So from the communication aspect, travels aspect, your capacity to manage your finances, this could have been seen a very good transit of Mercury in your second house, specifically for all the bankers, all the people connected with the financial field. Even if you have your own business or speaking is an integral part of your line of work. But now friends, the retrograde motion of Mercury in your second house might suddenly give rise to delays in the matters of the second house. So I would say that whatsoever you want to sign up, or any contracts, any agreement, any important travels if you are planning, so try to take into consideration this retrograde motion. If you find that there is any uncertainty, there could be any credibility related issues, or let's say for example, because you are an Aries person, and Aries person and people are always in a rush, always in a hurry. So if this is what your personality is, if this is what your work style is, so trust me, give yourself some extra space, extra time, provision of going over and over again in verifying, cross-checking details. Otherwise, things spoken by you, a financial decision taken by you in haste might create some sort of delays or confusion later on. So those are the only areas where you have to remain little bit cautious. Now friends, moving ahead, now for all the Taurus rising people, so definitely friends, Mercury is going to go retrograde right over there in your first house. This can actually work in your favor in this way that definitely it is going to make you very reflective, very wise, very contemplative. And like the way I have already mentioned this thing, if in your line of work communication plays a very pivotal role, whether you have your own business or you are a content creator, you are an actor, so you will be able to get to the depth of the projects or tasks have been assigned to you. So you'll be able to do justice to that via getting into the deeper aspect of all those projects, all those works. And friends, I have already mentioned this thing, the energy of Mercury is all about friendliness, it's all about frivolousness, adventure, travels, experiences. So I would say that during this time you might be able to get back or being able to come in contact with all the lost contacts, people you have lost your contact or touch with. So that is how we can see this retrograde motion of Mercury taking place for all the Taurus rising people. In their case, this energy is going to work in their advantage or in their benefit only. But as friends, you know this thing that Mercury has also got the rulership of your 5th house of speculation and 2nd house of your finances. In any case, Mercury is like right now transiting 12th place from your 2nd house. So specifically in the matters of speculation, stock market or trading, try to remain little bit cautious. That is one thing which I want to say. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Gemini rising people. So now friends, in your case, Mercury is going to go retrograde in your 12th house, and Mercury is your ascendant lord as well. So friends, in your case, you have to remain little bit cautious, because this could give rise to that if you said something, if you do not have complete idea about this situation, that what exactly is going on, and just relying on your instincts, on your whims, if you spoke something, you reacted, it might give rise to misunderstandings, miscommunication, or people teaming up against you. Also friends, from the health perspective as well, that if you are already going through nervous system problem, anything to do with this skin problem and all of that, you have to remain little bit cautious. And also friends, when we talk about the 12th house energy, so I would say that if in any way all the 12th house related matters, if they are getting qualified in your case, like anything to do with the foreign trade, immigration business, travel business, so try to remain little bit cautious during this time, because Mercury is retrograde and being a very important planet for you, and 12th house is little bit hidden and vulnerable energy. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Cancer rising people. So now friends, in your case, this retrograde motion can actually work in your advantage, in your favor, because friends, when we talk about the 11th house energy, which has everything to do with the contacts, with the group activities, with the opportunities, so definitely friends, during this time you might be able to get in contact with all the old contacts, people you have lost your touch with. Second thing is that even in the form of creating some sort of opportunity, being very contemplative, being very reflective in any sort of social gathering, social setting. So from all of those perspective, for all the Cancer rising people, this retrograde motion of Mercury in their 11th house can actually prove to be a bit beneficial for all of them. Now friends, for all the Leo rising people. So now friends, in your case, Mercury is going to go retrograde right over there in your 10th house. And Mercury is a very important planet for you. It has got a portfolio of both the houses of finances and opportunities for you guys. So now definitely friends, this transit can work in your favor in this regard, that you will be able to manage things with perfection. You might take extra time. See, be very like assured of this thing, that during this time the speed and efficiency which you generally bring out, you might not be able to work with that equivalent pace. Things might get delayed, or you might take extra time to process those information, but the end result of all the extra hours, extra time being put on your project, being put on your work, will be rewarded handsomely. So I'm not seeing much of the vulnerability for all the Leo rising people. Whatsoever Mercury has been contributing right now for you, and if your line of work specifically is connected with Mercury, like anything to do with accountancy, banking, finance, being an actor, being a singer, content creator, so all those people can get benefited. There could be a little bit of the delays, you might have to put extra efforts, but at the end it will get rewarded. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Virgo rising natives. So now friends, in your case as well, Mercury is your ascendant lord, and it is going to be transiting right over there in your 9th house. So now friends, this could give little bit of energy of miscommunication with your mentors, with your father, with the guru figure and all of that. So in terms of your connection with the living signification of the 9th house, those are the areas where you have to work on. But when we talk about the other, like other non-living signification, like for anything to do with the learning aspect, right now you're going through PhDs, you're going through your higher studies, or any of the concerns of travels and all of that, all those people can still get benefited. Your reflective and self contemplative qualities and attitude and approach of working to the depth of the details of the information is definitely going to reap some very good results. And also friends, because whenever we talk about the house of travels, so now friends, specifically for all the houses of travels, like when we talk about 9th house, 3rd house, or even the 7th house, all the air houses. So if this retrograde motion is taking place in your air houses from your ascendant, then specifically while planning any travel during this time, you have to remain a bit cautious. Like, it's better to book those flights where cancellation and refund of the tickets provision is there, or while heading out for that travel, so taking care of all your luggage, your belongings, your important documents. So just be very watchful and consciously aware of all these things if this transit is taking place or influencing your important houses of travel. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Libra rising people. So now friends, in your case, the Mercury's retrograde motion is going to take place in your 8th house. So now friends, during this time, you have to remain a little bit cautious that you should not become a victim of other people's agenda, other people's politics and all of that. All matters of your communication, of your business dealing, self-expression needs to be done with complete transparency during this time. And friends, definitely if you're in your line of work, like you are straight away connected with the 8th house related matters, working in the fields of insurance, revenue, taxing, wills, inheritances and all of that. So try to remain a little bit cautious that you should not be signing up or doing anything specifically while working on important documents in a haste. It's completely feasible and completely fine if you are going to take extra time rather than in a haste doing some mistake and regretting later on. So those are the only things which I want to say for all the Libra rising people. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Scorpio rising people. So now friends, in your case, Mercury is going to go retrograde right over there in your 7th house. So now friends, when we talk about the living signification, that is the one area where you have to remain a little bit cautious, because 7th house is the house of your partner, this is the house of your marriage, and Mercury in your case has got the rulership of your 8th house as well. So Mercury in any case is not a very auspicious planet for your rising sign. So now friends, during this time, because this retrograde motion can give issues within the marriage because of the influence or involvement of other people. So try to remain a little bit cautious, transparent in your communication with your partner. Now friends, when we talk about the non-living signification for people who are in business or any sort of commerce and trade, decision making and all of that, during this time the retrograde motion of Mercury can bring back all those important people or old contacts in the business, all those contacts which you have lost, or you have lost that kind of friendliness with them. So all those things can resurface and things can work in your favor. So I will still say the same thing, friends. In the matters of your relationship with your partner within your marriage, you have to remain a little bit cautious. Matters pertaining to commerce, trade, business, even because 7th house is something which tells about our dealing with the world, with the masses. It's a very important house for all those people who are like content creator, who are actor, who are politicians and all of that. So this retrograde motion of Mercury in your 7th house can still be seen as very beneficial for all those people who are holding some important prominent public seats. Moving ahead, friends, now for all these Sagittarius rising people. So now friends, in your case, Mercury is going to go retrograde in your 6th house. So now friends, this could actually give rise to little bit of the concerns of the health, specifically all the Mercury related problems, like when we talk about nervous system, when we talk about concerns of skin and all of that. So those are the areas where you have to pay attention to. Now friends, when we talk about the other matters of the 6th house, so definitely all those people who are connected with the fields of banking, investment, portfolios, anything to do with law, litigation, arbitration, all those people can get benefited because Mercury is in any case, it's dignified, it's only going to go retrograde, and the retrograde energy might ask or demand extra efforts from you, but on financial front it might at the end might give you good returns or rewards for all of your hard work as well. So only pertaining to the matters of your health that do not strain your nerves, your head with too much of the stress, only if you can work on that area. On a financial front, or like when we even talk about how you manage things, how you multitask things, your leadership skills, your competitive spirit, everything is going to work in your favor. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Capricorn rising people. So now friends, in your case, as you can fairly see that Mercury is going to go retrograde in your 5th house, which can be seen as a very good sign for all those people who are students, who are still going through high school academics and studies and all of that. So your memory, your cognitive skills, your capacity to comprehend and learn things in a very fast paced way is going to work in your favor. The second thing is that, friends, definitely for all those people who are working in the fields of art, entertainment, creative business, speculation, stock market, trading, so all those people are definitely going to get benefited with this retrograde motion of Mercury taking place in your 5th house. Mercury is in any case is a very auspicious and important planet for your rising sign. Now friends, moving ahead for all the Aquarius rising people. So now friends, in your case, Mercury is going to go retrograde in your 4th house. So definitely friends, whenever we talk about Mercury's presence in the 4th house, although it's a little bit vulnerable placement, Mercury, which is a planet of logics, being placed in the house of emotions, many times give rise to emotional turmoil. But when we talk about the important commercial decision or your capacity to manage or multitask things within your domestic life or your family responsibilities, so you will be able to do justice to that, or will be able to manage things with complete efficiency during this time. And lastly friends, for all the Pisces rising people, so now friends, in your case, Mercury is going to go retrograde in your 3rd house. And as friends, I have already explained this thing at the beginning of this video, that this retrograde motion is going to work in the favor for all those people in whose case this retrograde motion is taking place in the original air houses of the zodiac belt, like 3rd house, 7th house and 11th house. So definitely friends, like all of your contacts and friends which you have lost in past some time, they might resurface back in your life. Let's say for example, on all of those opportunities or areas where you have been working hard and you did not receive some positive news. So during this time, suddenly some opportunity, or you might suddenly hear back from all of your applied places or positions. Now friends, when we talk about from travels perspective, definitely travels can take place. The only thing which I want to say over here is that specifically for all those people in whose case their line of work is completely attached with the matters of the 3rd house, like communication, journalism, sales, media, marketing, content creation, being a blogger, being a performer. So definitely friends, give heightened attention to the details, minute details. During this time, the work which you put in your craft, it might become little bit more demanding. It might ask more efforts out of you, but trust me, all the hard work done by you will get rewarded accordingly. So that is something friends which I wanted to say for all the rising signs pertaining to this retrograde motion of Mercury taking place on May 10th. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. धन्यवाद.